Oh my god, guys. Gwen is completely dead next patch. Or is it? Let's go over these crazy Gwen changes from Spider Axe that I saw on Twitter. This is going to be live in like, I don't know, a week and a half or something. We'll see. Okay, first change. Base health increase from 620 to 650. Let's go. Huge. Plus 30 base health, level 1. That's really good. That's going to make your all-ins a lot stronger. Next, we have health growth reduced by 5. So that means late game, at level 18, we'll have 90 less health, but we still have that 30 more health, so it's net 60 less health. But that's honestly like whatever, right? Late game, those stats don't really matter, so I'd rather have the early game health. Passive AP ratio reduced. Oh, they got the passive again. Oh my god. I can't believe it. Nah, but just kidding. This shit does nothing. This makes the late game worse, but just get to the good part. Just keep waiting. I will take all of these nerfs just for this one change that I love. Passive based monster damage cap reduce. Okay, so half the monster damage or something. I don't know what that means, but that's probably bad too for jungle. Wait, let me look it up. What does it mean? Okay, so it looks like the passive damage. Okay, so the base damage is getting nerfed. I don't think they nerfed the ratio. As long as they don't touch the ratio, this nerfs the early clear a little bit, but it won't actually make that much of a difference. Q base damage increase, that is big for early game as well. W resist change. Okay, so this nerfs the late game, but it does give you 3 more resists early game, and you don't put points in your W until the very end of the game. So actually, I think this is like a buff, a huge buff for the W. This change at least. Now this, on the other hand, this is the biggest thing that I don't like about these changes. Because Gwen's resists are like the strongest part of the champ, I'm not even gonna lie. When you press W late game, you literally get like 75 armor and MR, which is like, if you do the gold value on that, that's almost like 4,000 gold worth of stats or something. So I really don't like this change, because now it's like, okay, instead of having 75 resists, you'll have like 60. So that's actually a pretty big nerf to late game Gwen. These changes are just a buff to the E. Sure, they nerfed the early damage a little bit, but now it scales a lot harder. The E AP ratio also makes it scale harder as well. And now this is the best part of these changes. I love these changes so much. Look. So the way Gwen's E works, when you press E, the first thing you auto attack refunds a percentage of the cooldown. Now instead of being scaling from 25 to 65, now it's just 50% right off the bat. So this makes the early game completely insane. And even at the late game, your E will be a 4-second cooldown with the refund compared to 3.85 seconds. So it doesn't do anything late game, and now it just turbo buffs your E early game. You will permanently have your E up starting from level 1. You'll only have like 1 auto attack where your E's not ready. 6 auto attacks, okay, 1 without E, and then you have E up again. So that is completely insane. Now you can probably just all in like any top lane or level 1 and just beat them with E start Gwen. R damage, they nerfed the base damage, they nerfed the ratio, so this is going to hurt the AoE team fighting a bit, but this is going to buff your single target damage insanely. Now the first rank ult has a 60% slow, so that's pretty good. Gonna make it easier to run people down early game. And this is just when you land multiple R's, like, it doesn't slow them as much. So this is just to match this change. Overall, I really like these changes. I think Gwen early game will be insanely broken now, and you can just get a lead early and just snowball the game. Although there's some late game nerfs, like, they buffed the late game on the E, and they buffed the base damage on the Q. So like, okay, the R's nerfed, and the passive nerfed, but the E and the Q got buffed. And the W's also buffed until late game. But yeah, I saw these changes, and I'm first like, oh my god, my champ's dead, because I saw they nerfed the scaling and everything. Then I actually went on the PB and tested everything. I'm like, okay, the damage is pretty much the same late game, but now our early game's just insane. I did record a part with like all the numbers and stuff, so I'm gonna get into that right after this. But I'll give you guys the TLDR right now. Top lane is buffed, jungle is nerfed a little bit. The jungle clear was like 3 seconds slower when I tested it. I was getting 303 on the live server, and on PB I was getting like 306. So the passive nerfs, the monster damage nerfs actually did hit pretty hard. The most vulnerable time of the game for Gwen on jungle is the first clear. So making it slower actually does hurt jungle a lot, because it means, okay, those 3 seconds, you could just get invaded by Kha'Zix and die because of that. Something like that. Just because your clear took a little longer. But top lane, these changes are just completely insane. Gwen's weakest part was the early game. They might start picking Gwen more in pro, because Gwen will have like literally no bad matchups. What even beats Gwen? Garen? Okay, they're not going to pick Garen in a pro game, because they can punish him easily. And Jace. I don't think Jace will even beat Gwen. If your E's such a low cooldown, you can literally just run him down level 1. I don't think jungle is completely dead, but I do think the win rate will go down like 1 to 2%. Because a lot of these changes are just, they're stacked up to nerf jungle and buff top, so think about it. Jungle's a farming role. And okay, they nerfed the clear and they nerfed the scaling. So now like, okay, I play jungle so I can scale for free, but now they nerfed the scaling. So I don't think jungle's actually going to be that good. But to be honest, deserved. Gwen jungle's completely broken right now. Actually, these changes can make Gwen like an invading jungler, because now your E is such a short cooldown, you can just fight all the jungle champs early game. You can probably invade a lot easier and actually take early skirmishes more. So it could be a negative or a positive based on your playstyle. Alright, anyways, now I'm going to show you guys the actual like damage comparison. Alright. So now we're on the PB. I press E, and I auto something. I only have one auto attack where my E is down. So this is actually like insane. One auto attack, two auto attacks maybe, my E's back up again. So you pretty much have almost permanent uptime on your E, starting from level 1. Like level 1 rank. And this is completely insane. Like the buffs to your auto attacks that the E gives, it's just insane. Like you get the range and you get the attack speed and the on-hit damage. But the only reason you don't go it is because it's such a long cooldown. But now that the cooldown's back to being short again, it's actually really strong. We'll try one item. We'll do 1, 2, 3, and 5 items. We'll see how much of a damage difference there is. For testing purposes, let's see. Give the dummy like 2500 health. 70 resists. That sounds like alright.